Welcome to Tamara Lynette Tales. I'm Tamara, and I spill the tea on your favorite reality stars. That's right, you guys. You read that little message in the top of the screen correctly. This video is sponsored. Your little girl's all grown up. I'm so excited to tell you about it in a little bit. But first, let's get to this Michaela story from Married at First Sight season 13. So I posted a video about a month or so ago about Michaela getting very emotional over signing her divorce papers. Well, the divorce was recently finalized, and she hopped on Instagram to disclose information we've never heard by posting her feelings and by soliciting questions from fans and answering them with 53 posts. She also hopped on TikTok live and chatted it up about Married at First Sight and life afterwards. So I'm going to share a little bit of that chat with you as well. Oddly enough, as open as she was about her life in her post, as of the date of this video, she deleted all of her content on her Instagram page and is only posting in her stories. So I'm going to hop right into this, but just so you know, she mentions a coworker a few times. Since she feels like her marriage was fake, she now refers to Zack as her coworker. She never mentions him by name in any of her posts. Okay, so let's jump into this. A few days ago in one of her Instagram stories, she mentioned that she threw away the gift that Zack gave her, which was a diamond bracelet. So this is a follow-up to her throwing that bracelet in the trash. All right, I'm not that silly. I swept the necklace out of, and I believe what she's trying to say is the trash, and sold it to my jeweler. Barely covered the taxes on this beauty, but something is better than absolutely nothing. Remember, this all happened a year ago. I'm speaking on it now because I'm officially divorced and finally feel comfortable enough to express myself regarding this. The lessons learned from the experiment and my newfound and full respect for going to therapy are the priceless takeaways. People will forever call me crazy, etc., and that's okay. That's the past, and if nothing else, everyone has the opportunity to grow, change, and be better, and I mean everyone. So here she's showing the receipt for $589.96 from Louis Vuitton. And she's saying, I purchased this like a silly goose when I got back to Houston after the ill-fated honeymoon. I was a fool and thought, this is it. I found my person. It indeed was not my person, but a coworker and roommate. Custom Louis Vuitton items can't be returned, and this was monographed with his initials. Now, I could have painted it over with my artist BFF, but because I purchased it with heartfelt intentions, I still gave it to my coworker during our closing meeting with Dr. P as a farewell. Instead of the we were robbed of our honeymoon, but we still have a lifetime of traveling the world together gift, it was intended to be. I'm a corny, hopeless romantic. What can I say? Crazy to think that I spent more money and resources during that process than I earned. This includes dates and dating items, groceries for two, clothing, although that's 100% on me, gas, mileage, extra pet care, lost wages, etc. So much time, energy, and money was siphoned from me. They say it ain't tricking if you got it, but it sure is annoying. We get stipends, but it does not compensate, nor is it worth the mess you could go through if you're looking for love and marriage and you're matched with someone who is just playing a game. Marriage isn't a dating game. I mean, you do date, but you should be dating your spouse to strengthen your relationship. The purpose of marriage is to win together, not to see if you like them today and will likely wake up and dump them tomorrow. You have to work at it and work on yourself every day for sustainability.
Oh no. That's just my MAFS brother. Have you ever saw us like just interact on a regular basis? You'd understand why. We're not compatible. Also, honestly, I think it would just be weird. Like dating somebody that you met in a small pool of people in this, particular city, that is weird to me. There are so many people in Houston that jump into from one to the next. I mean, granted, you all have the same intention, but it's weird to me. Because it's like, you know who they've had sex with and about their sex life from the person that they were just with. Like, but not everybody has that same sentiment, right? Some people are like, YOLO.
In this picture, she's showing the ring she bought Zack, and the cost of the ring was $2,906. So she reposts this saying, "The pettiest thing I ever did during a breakup was go to his kitchen and take every spice I bought. Find another bee to spice up your life, because it ain't gonna be me." Someone sent this to me. I was petty as F for doing that, but I legitimately only took what I purchased and brought to the apartment, which happened to include everything in the kitchen. I didn't sign up to feed coworkers, LOL, and I was moving back to my apartment permanently, so I took all my stuff with me. People really want me to regret doing that, but one, it still makes me laugh, and two, I'd do it again. I admittedly have not grown in that area. So she includes a picture of the Louis Vuitton purchase she mentioned earlier. I was confused and uncomfortable during the closure meeting with Dr. P because of what happened at the meeting with her just the day before. I did not want to make any sudden moves or speak. I kept my body turned towards her, my hands at 10 and 2, and focused my eyes only on Dr. P, her coffee cup, or my nails. It took over 2 hours to get through that meeting because I barely spoke, and Dr. P graciously spoke on my behalf with my blessing. I only said my piece and gave my gift. Literally, the day before, no more than 24 hours prior, I was told my marriage was over. I had accepted the fact and gave up, deleted numbers, and asked a producer to retrieve the suitcase I let my coworker borrow. I was good to go, mourn the loss of the relationship, and begin my healing journey. I tried and failed. The marriage wasn't working for my coworker, and I had to give up. Contrary to popular belief, most couples discuss their answers before the meeting privately. No one is really shocked, heartbroken if they don't get the answer they want, namely a stay married, but not shocked, LOL. I was taught to write my thoughts down by Dr. P so I could be as clear as possible with my thoughts and intentions and not ramble into confusion and irritate myself. I was still willing to work on the marriage after we walked away from the second meeting with Dr. P. However, I did not want to stay in that kind of marriage repeating the same unhealthy and counterproductive behaviors. My coworker wanted me to say divorce so we would look like we were on the same page on camera, but still do that date after divorce thing, and felt I was being spiteful if I didn't and was using the answer stay married as a way to make them look bad. First of all, the whole point of the experiment is to work at marriage, not work at dating after divorce. I was stupid as heck to even consider that, LOL. But I thought if this is what my spouse needs, I can respect that. However, for me to stick around, I had to say stay married. Otherwise, there would have been a mental shift for me and your girl would have been for the streets. So she posted a photo of the entire letter that Zack read to her on decision day. And here's what it says. Michaela, I'm sorry I've let you down. This obviously isn't the outcome either of us wanted. I hope you never look back at this time we spent together with remorse, because I know I never will. You've made me a better man, and for this I'm forever grateful. While this may be the end right now, I actually see this as a beginning for us, the beginning of something new and something better. Everything I said in my vows are true. I actually believe them even more now than when I wrote them. You are the most courageous woman I've ever met. You've been emotionally vulnerable with me this whole time, and it takes a pretty brave person to do that, especially on this scale. Not only have you been emotionally vulnerable, but you've also been unbelievably accepting. You allowed me to be my weird self, and I can't thank you enough because outside of my family and close friends, I feel like I can't be that person. You do believe in love. You fought for this marriage, even under the most difficult circumstances. I do recognize that. I know I'm not the easiest person to deal with, but no matter what, you never left my side, even if you moved out of the apartment once or twice. This was meant to be. Everything we've been through, every fight, argument, leave out, laugh, cry, dinner together, hurricane, dance, piano duet, was all worth it. I wouldn't change a single thing, and I hope you wouldn't either. Every good and bad moment that we've experienced have been learning moments that will only make us better. Better partners, better friends, better siblings, better parents, just all around better people. Besides my mom, you are the most amazing woman I know. I'm lucky to have met you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for loving me. I can honestly say that I love you, Zack. If you're confused by this, you're in good company, LOL. Everyone in the room was confused. I got and get made fun of online because of my facial expressions a lot. I've seen the memes, but y'all should have seen my expressions during decision day. It was a literal roller coaster. I know I looked like I was doing facial exercises. I legitimately did not know whether I was coming or going, but my dumb ass stayed. I should have known better than to try to stick it out with all that confusion going on. Honestly, if I'm being real, I played myself. I disrespected myself by agreeing to the plan of dating after divorce and continuing to perform as a wife even after being dumped. It wasn't until a few months later that I learned that I deserve to be with someone who wants to be with me and is sure even when they are unsure about me. That's one of the greatest lessons I learned relationship-wise. Walk away when someone makes it known they want to end a relationship one way or another. And when everything inevitably ended, y'all, I sent like 80 messages with permission in the span of like 3 to 4 hours. The tone of the messages went from subtle and concise to mad to sad to completely desperate. The killer is I didn't mean half the crap I wrote. I was just emotionally dumping. Then I went 100% no contact. And that was always going to be my final action if the relationship failed. I told them I'll never speak to you again at the very beginning, and I meant that, LOL. So in the meantime, on the day the divorce was final, Zack posted that he is officially divorced with a dancing emoji. Later, Michaela posted this: I'm down to do an AMST. Ask me some things about my experience with the experiment today. But before I share her Q&A with you, how many people have you shared your Netflix, Hulu, or Sling password with? Or any other online service for that matter? See what I did there with that segue? They say the average consumer has 90 accounts. Do you have 90 different passwords? I don't. You probably don't either, which means if someone has one of your passwords, they probably have access to a couple of your accounts. This leaves you vulnerable for unwanted folks to access your accounts, which could easily lead to identity theft and fraud. Now, most of us think this ain't gonna happen to me, but in 2020, Americans lost $56 billion due to identity theft scams. Now, most of you don't know this, but for a living, I work in IT. As part of my job, I'm charged with protecting the organization from cyber attacks. And I've learned that the main way cyber criminals access data is through you working on sensitive information outside of VPN, a virtual private network, poor passwords, having passwords stored on your computer, and by carelessly clicking on links. That's why I'm so excited to partner with Aura, who is sponsoring this video. Now, I have been offered other opportunities to share with you, but I've turned them down because I don't want to make this channel about trying to sell you anything and everything. But this is a service I've used myself. Aura is identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password manager, and antivirus software, all combined into one easy-to-use app. Aura monitors the dark web for your emails, passwords, and social security numbers, and sends alerts fast, like right to your phone and email. SafeHome.org rated Aura a 9 out of 10 for identity theft protection. When it comes to fraud, every second counts. When you connect your credit and bank accounts, you get notified of any changes up to 4 times faster than Aura's competitors. Their VPN allows you to stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. And their antivirus software will block malware and viruses before they infect your devices, including your cell phone. So you guys, after I input my information, they found 23 different instances of either my passwords or email addresses on the dark web. I know, that's crazy. Plus, they reviewed all my passwords and told me which ones I need to change due to a data breach and which ones I need to change because they are weak. Yeah, so I've got some cleaning up to do. So guess what? You can try out Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if your personal information, like your social security number, email, and passwords, has been leaked to the dark web so that you can take action. You get to see your results in hours. Now, I would love for at least 100 of you to give it a try and let them know I sent you by using my link at aura.com/Tamara. So after you sign up and receive your results from the dark web, child, hop into these comments and let me know how many they found, because it's crazy. I'll pin my link in the comments, and I'll also put it in the description box as well. It costs you nothing. It's a 2-week free trial and there's no obligation to purchase. Now let's get back to this tea with Michaela. Question, do you think how you reacted was edited to reflect you? No, I'll say everything was pretty on par through the bachelorette party. The wedding was shown okay. So much was missed though. Beautiful moments. I'm just glad that wasn't my real wedding. The only edit that pissed me off was how they made me out to be selfish, self-centered, and bratty after the COVID diagnosis. That was really messed up. Everything else, meh. They picked a character identity for me and ran with it. I gave them plenty to work with. I just didn't know, A, people were pretending and making literal scripts, and B, mostly my faults, failures, and flaws would be highlighted. Not much to my good. Is it edited? Yes, but I don't like blaming editing for anything. I just say a lot of context is missed. Stuff I wish was shared with the audience, like the real and full scale of the expert's advice, wouldn't make this all seem so worthless.
For me, I was putting everything into it to make it a marriage. So I was trying my best to be a good wife. There's a lot that didn't get shown, but I was trying my best. And that's why I have no regrets. I put everything out there on the table. But looking back again, as I say, it's all fake. Like, I was being tricked. I was being tricked and played and led on. It's like, it's really up. But I don't regret like trying my best. I definitely don't. And I think going forward, yes, I would get married again, and with the right partner. I think, with an actual husband and all that kind of stuff, because that was just an experiment. We just worked together. I think it'll be a beautiful thing. I learned a lot. Like, the experts taught me a lot. I learned a lot about myself, what I want in a partner, etc., etc.
Would you do MAFS again? Yes, and I would act the entire time though, LOL. Pick a faux character and be that for 8 weeks. I had no clue some people were full on pretending for the camera. Some people were 100%, which sucks if you're being honest and open 360 and you're matched with someone who only or mainly cares about what other people think or other people may think. So they pretend. And knowing this and these people in real life is cringe. Do you feel that it was enough time to have put your heart out there in 8 weeks? Honestly, I don't know. I suspect it wasn't. After everything ended, I went to therapy weekly. I also did lots of self-study with the extreme highs and low lows. I feel like it was more trauma bonding than being in love. But I also let my guard down and cared deeply for my coworkers' mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Even though we fought a lot, I was honestly trying to figure out the best way to meet their needs. So I don't know. I did not feel loved or even liked. So I decided to put my own needs first not long after decision day. Do you have any regrets? Yup, many. Unfortunately, when mistakes are made, that's what's highlighted or repeatedly brought up, not the act of correction and process of change. Plus, with just 8 short weeks, it's hard to show evidence of retention, change behavior, words. You seem like you're in a good place. What did you do to heal? The magical world of mental health care walked into my life. Honestly, I knew I needed it, but why? I mean, I made it to adulthood, became successful, managed, happy, confident, doing great. Just fine, but I didn't realize I was only running at 45% with those attributes because I was also defensive, scared, and mad as hell at the hands life dealt to me in the past. Oh, and my big personality was laced with undiagnosed ADHD. Did you hang out with other cast members during filming? Nope. LOL. I married a stranger. That was 100% my focus. Between filming, working, and that, I couldn't develop relationships with anyone else, and I wasn't going to make the capacity. I didn't start hanging with my fellow castmates regularly until like May, June. Though I will say I thought I created a bond during filming, I was wrong.
Honestly, I started dating not too long after the process ended. My friend had actually introduced me to somebody who's wonderful. We're not together anymore, but absolutely wonderful and definitely restorative, kind of relationship. So I was like, oh my gosh, like this is good. Like I know that there are definitely good men out there. We're still friends today. So, and now we've broken up, like, and it's amicable and everything like that. Like no tension or anything like that.
Are you still cool with anyone from your season? Yes, most of the cast. When I finished with all of this, I wasn't going to walk away with any enemies. Only the new bonds and the people I didn't care for go back to being the strangers they were before. I really only got to know a couple of people closely, and I'm glad I did. They were and are a blessing to me. The way your character was portrayed, do you think men will be scared to date you? Definitely not. Actually, the contrary has happened via these DMs. My ex knew all about this show, but he was dating me in real life and getting to know me in real life, not using a mass cable production to base his judgment off of. Anyone who does that is in for a rude awakening and is weird. That's like when people fall for professional actors and musicians based on what they see on TV. They don't know them. Anyway, we had an awesome and healthy relationship. It ended amicably. What's your biggest regret? Storming through that house, of course. My anger took over. I did not black out, but I also couldn't stop myself. That's something I never ever want to enact again. After that night, I was like, nope, F that, I'm getting help. And that's when the magical world of mental health care walked into my life. Again, in my mind, I was successful, managed well enough, happy, confident, doing great. Just fine, but I didn't realize I was only running at 45% because I was also defensive, scared, and mad as hell at the hands life dealt to me in the past. That needed to be fixed. Why are you so proud of being petty? I'm not proud, but I'm also not perfect. Being petty is one of my flaws. Sometimes I do petty-ish that's funny to me, but annoying to others, and I'm fully aware of it. Also stuff like breaking phones, bleaching clothes, spray painting property, etc. That's not petty. That's vindictive and vandalism. My rule is if I can't put it back the way it was, that's not petty. That's other. Although I wouldn't take the batteries out of the smoke detector because I'd probably forget I did it, and that's dangerous. Petty is turning the water heater temperature to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. You can put that back after a day of cold showers. Honestly, you should be more irritated with and fearful of people who don't or won't admit their flaws ever. Do you think that everyone comes into this with genuine intentions to build a marriage? Absolutely. That's why I signed up. And I know for a fact that at least 4 of my castmates signed up with genuine intentions too. But then some sign up to play games or think they don't have to change, learn anything new, or compromise. But it's almost impossible to weed that out. People always put their best foot forward in dating or getting matched. Do you think you were purposely mismatched? No, I just think we were matched. We have quite a few things in common, but our backgrounds are night and day. I can only speak on my background, but I needed an assuring, protective, and loyal match so I could let my guard down both inside and outside the home and not remain in survival mode 24/7. I needed a match who will make sure I felt safe, at least with them. I didn't have that. I was on a permanent performance schedule. I'm fallible and flawed, and I don't know how anyone could live like that. In what ways did you get played? I played myself. At first, I felt like I got played and led on, but then I realized I should have walked away or given up week 2 like my coworker did. Or no later than week 4 when I initially felt things were off and I didn't feel good in the relationship. Why are you just now talking about your marriage like this? Because I'm divorced now? I just didn't feel comfortable talking about my experience while still legally bonded. I have been over the care and emotional part of that situation for months, and healing is an endless journey, not a set goal. So I'm not in any kind of pain, but it's part of my life experience, just like my experiences with homelessness, ADHD, etc. So I can talk about it freely. Did you learn anything useful from the experts? I sure did, and I love this question, so bear with me. From Pastor Cal and his wife, don't match negative fighting energy. You both can't give up because the union will fail. Everything in me wanted to resist that advice, but I knew it's what I always did in relationships, and I wanted my marriage to be different. It was hard to do, LOL. Got in a fight before that session, and I had made an emergency call and received over 2 hours of advice as a couple and by myself. I wanted to give up, but went home after work with non-negative energy and made dinner. Put pride aside. From Dr. Pepper, write my thoughts down. I can be very reactive and can get easily lost in my emotions when my feelings are hurt. So it's okay to ask for a moment, step away, and write down your thoughts before returning. Also, get out of defensive mode. Your partner should not be viewed as an enemy to conquer, but rather an ally to work with. This takes a lot of work, mainly putting ego aside. From Dr. V, be clear with my intentions and speak boldly, respectfully, and honestly. If you're okay with something, say that. If you're not okay with something, say that. Be an advocate for your emotional needs. Why did you keep moving out? I hated that apartment building. So many things were wrong with it. The first time I moved out was because I had no access. So until that was figured out, I was going to stay at my place. The second time was because of the back and forth fighting, rejection, then another random nightly leave that hurt my feelings and irritated me. I just wanted peace, so I went home. I was over it for good, or so I thought. Which expert did you connect with the most? Honestly, I connected with them all. I was there to learn and try my best to be a good wife in a long-lasting, healthy marriage. I didn't want to continue contributing to an unhealthy marriage. These are professionals with decades of experience, so I took full advantage of that opportunity. They gave me priceless advice, held me accountable, and pushed me outside my stubborn comfort zone when necessary. I'm so happy I got that experience. It was the tipping point of my across-the-board health journey. My relationships all around have just become so much better and stronger. People place blame on the experts a lot, and I get why. Somebody has to be at fault. But honestly, it's solely the participants' responsibility to work on themselves and their marriages. We all know what we wanted out of the marriage, but maybe got a little sidetracked with what we signed up for exactly. Also, a relationship can act as a stopping point that ends with a mirror. Most people don't know their major faults and flaws until they get into a significant relationship. I don't regret giving that marriage everything I had, LOL. No reserve. My next one is going to be awesome. What are the things that you feel MAFS could do to make the experience better? Honestly, I don't know. But for everyone who is looking to sign up in the future, just pretend to be perfect, I guess, LOL. Don't even think about arguing. Just smile and wave. Would you ever speak to your ex-husband, Zack, again? Honestly, this is $1 million question. Last year about this time, it was a hard, fast hell no. I was still very much so hurting and very mad about some things. I've since healed from all that stuff. Now it's more so I don't know what the point would be. I don't need closure from anything, and we don't know each other. We never did. I mean, I'm friends with many of my past boyfriends, but we formed friendships over the course of our relationship before, during, and after being romantically involved. That never happened with my coworkers, so we're legitimate strangers who happened to get legally bonded because we were contractually obligated to. We worked together briefly, and the job has been complete for over a year now. I genuinely can't think of a good reason or need to connect. That was a really fun AMST. If I didn't get to your question, I'm sorry I missed it or I couldn't answer it. Thank you all, and thank you to everyone who DM'd beautiful messages.